What is your approach to analyzing your own chess games for improvement?
I usually run through it once or twice at the computer. I'm trying to get better at it too, but I like to know like what my biggest weaknesses are, and I've been working on trying to identify them and fix them. But it's really dependent. The thing is, I feel like I don't play as much anymore either, so there's not as much to look over these days.
I mean, from young age, this is what I was told, that you need to analyze your games, but it was really hard for me. I know maybe because I started with a coach from, when I was 9 years old, and I always had someone to help me. So it was really difficult to be on my own and analyze a game. But throughout the years, I also heard this from many chess players, that it's harder to, work when you are alone. I'm more comfortable when I have a chess partner or someone who can help me. But after a tournament, obviously I check my games with engines, and I know it's not the best way, but I try to analyze it myself after the tournament.
Analyzing my own games is probably the thing I like to do the least. I really find it difficult. But I think the most important, at least nowadays, is making sure you fix your openings. Even if I don't want to sit down and analyze my games for hours and try to understand all my decisions, at least I make sure I check the openings. If I walked into some trap or if I got a really bad position out of the openings, at least make sure I patch that up and it doesn't happen again.
Unfortunately, I don't do it much. I think I should need more to dig deeply in this area to analyzing games, and usually after I play this game, my husband already telling me what I was doing wrong and what was better, and my goal is to find the reason why I played these moves which I didn't supposed to play. And usually I have a main problem, time pressure, and this is cause of so many troubles.
I try to be as thorough as possible, and not just with the moves themselves, but also try to understand why I played them, why I chose them, why I spent so much time on them. I think it's very important for every level and for improvement and for understanding yourself a little bit deeper.
First, looking at it without a computer, and then trying to figure out where in the game that I went wrong, and then also annotating how I was feeling during the game and things I was thinking about.
Yeah, this is a tricky question. I think when I analyze my own games, I always try to do it pretty soon after, maybe immediately after the tournament has ended, or even right after the game, if I'm not worried about it screwing with my mental state. I think it's important to remember not just what variations I was calculating at the time, but also why I was calculating them and what sorts of things that I was preoccupied with during the game. And I think that sort of stuff fades away as more time passes, right? I've tried analyzing games even months after, and it doesn't go so well because I can't quite remember exactly what I was thinking.
I try to analyze them as soon as the game ends. After that, I try to analyze it with coach or friends just to know different opinion, what they think about my games, because they're more objective about it, in my opinion, than me. So it definitely helps.
I typically analyze most of my games with an engine right after they happen, and I can see if the games are really interesting, I'll usually annotate them. Sometimes I annotate games that aren't so interesting, but I think that are instructive. And then I also go over the games with my coaches some of the time.
Yeah, I think, generally, if I would look at them with my coach, then that's where I'm gonna kind of learn the most, definitely getting his feedback on my games. Honestly, I feel like I could do a little better with that because I still haven't really gone over my games from the Olympiad. So, yeah.
I like to review my games with my coach after I played them, and I also like to write down my mistakes where I went wrong.
Oh, it's very hard for me to look at my own games, especially ones that I've lost. It's like a horror show. But yeah, I have to get through them. I try to look at my biggest mistakes and why they happened, and take a mental note and hope to never repeat them again. Hasn't worked yet, but hopefully.